So I woke up this morning and heard the news about a fatal accident in Montego Bay that damaged the Welcome to Montego Bay sign. For all you guys that don't know Montego Bay or Jamaica, this is the welcome sign that you see as soon as you exit the airport. From what I've heard, there was a fatal car accident and there were 4 people that were involved. 2 died and 2 were injured and were taken to the hospital. I won't get so much into the discrimination of the Jamaica first responders because from what I was seeing online, many people already covered that topic and got into, they share their opinion as to what they believe that Jamaican first responders need more training, etc., etc. So I'll leave that alone. But I will touch the topic of the fact that fast driving and fatalities are nothing new in Jamaica. Before I cover my views on the sign being damaged, I'll just say education is key and corruption needs to be rid from Jamaica. Most drivers in Jamaica, it is known in Jamaica that most drivers in Jamaica bought their license. These licenses was paid for with cash and not attained the proper way. Illiteracy is still a great crippling factor to the island of Jamaica and its future. If these corruptions are eradicated, we probably have less motor vehicle fatalities because most of these drivers can't read, so most of these drivers don't adhere to the speed limits or the road codes. The sooner these corruptions are eradicated, where you have literate drivers that can actually relate to the road codes, understand what the road code said and understand the dangers of motor vehicle, then we will have less of these fatalities. Now let me tackle the smashing or the ruins of the Welcome to Montego Bay sign. Jamaican people have a saying to say, sometimes we have to use serious things and make jokes. Well, Montego Bay has recently been shining, not in the most touristy light, but in the most fear factor light. Violence has been overshadowing the white sand beaches and the glamour and glitz of the islands of Jamaica. And the sign got smashed, and the sign now says, "Welcome to Ego Bay." Is it a coincidence? Or is it a sign? Who knows? For a second, I found it funny that the sign got smashed and that's what it says. Now don't get me wrong, my heart goes out to the drivers and the passengers who were victim in this situation, whether they were literate or illiterate. I mean, a life is a life. And when it comes to a life, my view to it is we as human beings should promote and live out our years as long as possible. So I find no pleasure, no joy, no delight in the fact that 4 people were hurt. But I had to go, when I saw that the sign now reads, "Welcome to Ego Bay." Anyway, let me get on to what I thought was most interesting about the sign being smashed. Perception is key. Recently I saw something online that made me laugh. And it was a reference about perception. And the reference says, when the Titanic sunk, we all thought about the thousands of lives that died, but nobody ever thought that for the lobsters that was in the kitchen, it was a glorious day. They were about to be cooked, and this ship sunk, and they were free. And I thought, it's funny, but it holds a lot of truth. And the first thing I thought of when I heard this accident in Montego Bay and I seen that the sign were ruined, I thought to myself, I was recently in Jamaica, and Montego Bay is one of those destinations that are craved by a lot of tourists, and I would assume millions of visitors visit Montego Bay annually. But as I was visiting Jamaica, I did notice the sign, "Welcome to Montego Bay." And I thought, in comparison to other countries and other major cities in the world, the sign was very cheaply made and not impressive enough. So, on the flip side, it's kind of a good thing that the sign is now ruined. And I hope that the Jamaican government or whoever is in charge of Montego Bay don't try to repair that sign, but replace it with something more grand that represent Montego Bay for the city that it is and the beauty that it offers. I don't have a lot more to say about the situation. I just thought, let me share my opinion in regards to this news, this sad news. Four family members have lost their life, and I can only imagine the sadness that it would bring on those people, So my heart goes out to the family, but at the same time, I hope that this accident is a high opener for the authorities in Jamaica who govern the licensing, and let's hope that they become a little bit more strict and vet these people. I mean, I understand an extra dollar here can help, an extra dollar can make a difference, but sometimes we have to love ourselves more than we love money, because if you think about it, nothing that money ever buys lasts forever, nothing, so it does bother me a little to see that for the love of money, we are selling out our own brothers and sisters. I mean, I know how desperate, especially the young drivers are. They want a license even though they can't read or they can't write. But it's time that we step up. And for the love of our nation and for the love of our people, when they're not going through the right procedures, just say no. I understand 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand. I don't know how much they buy these licenses for. But I know for a fact that licenses in Jamaica are bought. And as long as licenses continue to be sold, these accidents will continue to happen. So, take heed. Let's hope this vlog that I'm doing help. Until next time, peace.